The long-awaited sequel to Sin City is finally here. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. I'm actually surprised it's just called A Dame to Kill For, since there's only one story in this movie that was titled A Dame to Kill For. And this movie is several different stories. But I digress. It's coming on DVD and Blu-ray soon, so I thought I'd give a review of it. I always admired the way Robert Rodriguez approached this. Now, usually, when a writer-director adapts a novel to the big screen, they usually take the basic plot line of the novel, but they make so many changes to the source material. Robert Rodriguez didn't do that. No, he did not want to make his version of the Sin City stories. No, he wanted to make Frank Miller's version of the Sin City stories, to the point where he wanted to make the audience feel like you're actually reading the graphic novels. Now, was this film as good as the first Sin City? Well, yes, no. I mean, I think the reason why this movie didn't do as well, basically because it waited too long for this movie to be made and to come out. I mean, before that you had the 300 movies and Immortals. I mean, so this movie feels like nothing new anymore. Unlike when it came out in 2005, it was fresh and something awesome. But am I saying this film is bad? No, not saying that at all. It was just as entertaining as the first one, just as visually stunning. And I gotta say, Eva Green is awesome in this movie. She's quite the scene stealer, and she really demonstrates what a talented actress she is. I mean, she demonstrated that well in such films as Casino Royale, Dark Shadows, and the most recent 300 movie, and she does it well here. Jessica Alba, I don't think she's a good actress. I really don't. I never did. But here she really surprised me. She does show she does have some acting range as the tortured Nancy, who is still wants to get revenge on the death of Hartigan, played by Bruce Willis, who does pop up as a ghost in some scenes. Now, Mickey Rourke as Marv. I guess the filmmakers thought since he was so popular from the first film, they just upped this part more. And man, Mickey Rourke is such an awesome badass in this movie. He milks every scene for what it's worth. Oh yeah, he says, oh, of course Mickey Rourke's not going to turn this role down. Oh yeah, this role brought him back on track. When he gets back in the role of Marv, it's almost like he never left. I know what you're saying. Didn't he die in the first one? Well, yeah, this movie is kind of a before and after thing from the first film, so when it comes to these stories, you just got to ignore the continuity things to it and just sit back and enjoy. He does have a nice fight scene with Manute, now played by Dennis Haysbert. In the original, he was played by Michael Clark Duncan, but you know Michael Clark Duncan passed away. Now, Dennis Haysbert is every bit as tall and has that just as intimidating voice as Michael Clark Duncan, although he's not as massive as Duncan was. But Dennis Haysbert was still good, and I liked their fight scene. It's too bad it was relatively short, though, but it was still good. Now, Powers Booth as Senator O'Rourke. You probably know he had a bit part in the first film, but they really upped his part more. He has a bigger role to play this time, and if anybody could play a unlikable scoundrel to a certain level of awesomeness, it is Powers Booth. Oh man, he is just evil to the core. He could go down as one of the greatest movie villains of all time. That shows you the great actor that Powers Booth is. Now Josh Brolin as Dwight. I like Josh Brolin in this film, but the way he plays Dwight in this movie kind of differs from the way Clive Owen played it, to the point where I was not really convinced they were the same guy. No. Josh Brolin's rough edgeness differs from the Clive Owen's calm demeanor. It just didn't sit well there. Not that I did dislike Josh Brolin. I didn't. I thought he is good here, but having me convinced he's the same character as Clive Owens, it just didn't gel well. I like that Jamie Chung plays Miho. I mean, the original actress, don't know her name exactly, couldn't reprise the role because she was pregnant with child. I think Jamie Chung was just as good as the deadly assassin Miho. Now, here's my biggest complaint was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's story. I don't know if it added anything to the movie. It just kind of felt like it was just in the movie just to pass the time. I don't know. Not that I dislike Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this movie. He's every bit as charming and charismatic as you would expect Joseph Gordon-Levitt to be. I just don't know if his story added anything to the movie whatsoever. And you probably know Lady Gaga is in this movie too. One critic on YouTube said she's playing the Brittany Murphy role, but I don't know if she is. I mean, it sort of hints that she is, but Robert Rodriguez said they didn't want to do that because of memory of Brittany Murphy. So I give this movie Sin City an 8 out of 10.